Hi, everybody. It's Yvonne and Gabby again.
Hello.
We are the mother-daughter team, the Vance team out here, and we're out here in the villages today, and we're at the newest rec center that was just opened mid-July. It's called the First Responders, and we were very fortunate to be able to take a tour of that today, and we really, really
Yeah,
loved
no,
it. It was really, it is a very well done. Kudos to the villages. They
yeah,
did a
no.
great job on this rec center. The grounds are beautiful. Um, the facilities, everything they've done is just special. It is memorabilia inside about all the first responders, you know, our hometown heroes.
Yeah, no, they really did an awesome job.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely kind of shows with like how they are going to start catering to the younger age groups. Including me, even my age and younger. I think a lot of people are living here with their parents, and so they've come. They live here and work and are single. And what do they have to do in the villages? Like they can do everything. Like if you're a young person and you live with your parents in the villages, you can get a villages membership and can go to the pools and do whatever, like just like your parents do. But I definitely think here they're catering to that age group. There's even a group on Facebook that's what is it, the young people of the villages.
Yes,
That's what it is.
and this is definitely this area. And the interesting thing is that this rec center, most of the stuff in the villages has been being built south of the turnpike, which is many miles from here because we are up here in Marion County, which is the far north of section of the villages. And the fact that they built this new rec center here speaks volumes for the area. Like you can see that they really want to, they want the villages to be continue to be something that the next generations want to come to. And it's really obvious in
Mm-hmm.
this particular rec center because this area up here was, most of this was built in 2000s, the early 2000s. So a lot of the people like myself, I purchased from original owner, who they are in their 80s now. So those people are going to be leaving, and the younger generation like myself, Generation X, young boomers, even older millennials, as their children grow up, because that's the thing with the villages, no one under the age of 19 can live here. Now they can visit, but they can't live here. So, and most of it, there's some other new sections coming with some younger people, but most of it is that's how it is. So I can see this rec center is definitely
Yeah,
catering to that. For example, like they have like
they
the
have
soccer
soccer
field,
field.
which baby boomers didn't play soccer.
No.
That came with Generation X. I remember as a young person, soccer became something that they introduced in the schools and so forth, and it was big for the millennials. I
Very
mean,
big.
think about the soccer mom thing. Everybody was talking about soccer moms. So
In my age group too, a lot of
yeah,
people that I grew
yes,
up with,
we're big
all
soccer players. Yeah,
big time, like huge. It was actually really popular, I think, for my age group.
yeah, very, very,
Very.
yeah.
And then they put the putt green here too, so like if you have like your young grandkids or whatever, they could come and do that. And the only other one
And
that
there's a practice. I mean, you can practice your
putting, yeah,
18 holes, they say.
yeah,
So
yeah. It's the only other one in the area because the other one is down towards Sawgrass. Because I
yes,
think, and I believe Sawgrass too, with like the new market and stuff, is really to cater to the younger age group as well. So I think as time goes on, I'm interested to see how the villages changes and how they redo the rec centers because they do that. They periodically, there are several of them I would say
yes.
that
Mm-hmm.
that need to be remodeled. They're looking kind of dated and old. So I think it's just a matter of time before they really start to change things. They also have like a really nice fitness path here. I think it's one of the
Really
nicest.
nice. I've never seen one like it.
And where like you actually could get,
Modern and nice.
yeah,
Very nice.
you can probably get like you can actually get like a workout because most of the time I would say the fitness paths like at the park or whatever isn't really so hot, but they have some like really new equipment that I've never seen before, that uses mostly body weight. So if you like, you really could work out and
Yeah.
gain muscle using it.
And they even have video games inside this rec center. So I heard a lot of older people saying, "Wow, video games." But these people are probably in their mid 70s, and they probably weren't too much into video games like Generation X
Yep.
and on. So we are definitely seeing them bringing the villages in for the next generations. There's no doubt about it.
That and also
And the first responder stuff in there was just fantastic. A
it was
lot of
really cool.
9/11, right?
Yep.
Which was very
Huge.
huge memorial for that, and all kinds of old gear, and it's just beautiful. They did a fantastic
Which
job.
I think that also does attract the younger generation, and it also
With the 9/11 thing,
well,
you
not
think,
just the
too?
9/11, but I think also like my age group and millennials, we like old things.
Oh,
So we like
historical.
historical,
Yeah,
vintage things,
they did a lot of that.
and so I could see somebody my age going in there thinking it was like really impressive and cool as well. So I would say it has an appeal. The other thing that I thought was interesting, because it's a first responder, so they made it themed as a firehouse. So the bathroom seems like you're in a firehouse. It's very interesting the way that they did all that. And we'll have a video at the
And
end.
it has a bell. You can
Yep.
see it in the back of the video there at the top. That bell, we were here at noon, and it was going off. So they put the bell at the top of the hour.
They do. Yeah, it's pretty cool. They have some really interesting, just I don't know, it's just different. I haven't been to Eisenhower, and there were some people talking about how Eisenhower was similar, but that's down in Brownwood. So I think for this area up here, it's just different, because most of the ones up here are kind of
Farmish
and old. They're old look, like they look.
Well, because this area
Yeah.
was built in the early 2000s. All of Chatham, Calumet Grove, Springdale, Piedmont. I mean, Nancy Lopez. These were all done in the early 2000s, late 1990s.
It feels
So you can tell that that's kind of, that was the demographic that they were catering to. They have a family pool here,
they do.
which most of the regional rec centers in the villages are sports pools. So this is very different.
And it's kind of a resort style pool, I would
It is.
say.
It is.
It's definitely not. I don't think I've seen a family pool look like this, with like the breaking.
It's more like Orange Blossom,
Yeah.
which is the oldest pool and the oldest country club in the villages. This pool resembles that without the waterfall.
Yeah, it is kind of.
But
It's
similar.
a resort type pool,
Yeah.
which I think is what the villages kind of wanted to start out as like a resort, and then
I think it's went back to that too. It's become more and more like that. People like the resort living. And it is, I tell people all the time, why do I need to go to a resort? I live in a resort. Like, there's everything at the villages.
It's true.
And there were, it has not lost its popularity. Actually, I think it's increased a lot.
Yeah, I think younger and younger are coming here, and they're, I think as time has progressed, and because of I think COVID had a lot to do with it. So some people retired early, or a lot of them work online, which is kind of interesting. Remote. And I think I think, the US has been talking about how the workforce has forever been changed with online workers. And, I think remote travel has become more popular. A lot of people have been going to Mexico, which is kind of interesting. And Airbnbs in other countries are doing a lot better than they are here in the States. And I think it's because people are working remote. And I think that's applying to the villages as well. Why people are able to, like they still work. So they live here maybe part-time or own 2 houses or whatever, and they're remote working.
Well, I've met a lot of people here in the villages that have moved recently since COVID, that are actually just working from home. So everything they do is online. They might have to travel to Pittsburgh or Philadelphia or wherever their home base was, maybe once a month. This area in Central Florida here around, in and around the villages, it's a hour and a half to the Orlando International Airport, or even into Tampa.
Don't they have a shuttle though that takes them?
Oh yeah, there's shuttles on every day, all the time.
Yeah, I see them in like Sumter often.
And actually, I have a friend of mine who actually started a business several years ago, and that's all she does is she will do she will drop you at your door. So she does nothing but airport transporting. So it's easy to get in and out of the villages into the airport. Yeah, it's just some time, about an hour and a half, maybe, depending on traffic, but it's not bad.
No, it's not too bad.
So this has become more and more of, people in their, I think every day on Facebook, I probably see somebody asking, what would be like, I'm 50, what would it be like for me to live in the villages? Am I too young to live in the villages? They're asking all these questions because that age group is coming to the villages.
Yeah, I think
even mid 40s.
Yeah, I just had some customers that their parents live in, what is it, Parkwood, where we have that listing?
Yes.
Parkwood, and they're probably late millennials, so they're like close to 40, but not quite there yet. And they were talking, because their mother lives in Parkwood, but they were talking about how they came to Florida because of her mother, but they would want to retire in the villages. Like, they think the villages is like the best thing ever, and So
Yeah,
they
it is.
they get very excited about it. Because I think at
They just
Baymont,
enjoy it.
yeah, and at Baymont you can take the golf cart. You can get to the golf cart paths here in the villages. I'm pretty positive, or at least people do. Maybe they're not supposed to, but they
Yeah,
do.
they're probably not supposed to,
but they do.
but they do. And you know, the good thing is like the Lady Lake police are, you know, they know that people are doing this, and I think they, you know, they don't really police it heavily as long as you're not riding down the middle of the
No.
main highway or whatever.
And I think you just have to cross over. I
Yeah,
don't even know
like
if you
a
have,
bicycle.
yeah, like a bicycle. So
Yeah,
I mean,
cross over and that's it.
And then
so,
you're on the
like in a
golf cart path.
crosswalk or whatever.
Yeah, I think that's basically what
As long as you're not, you know, they will stop you if you're like on 441 or
Oh, yeah.
466.
like driving down the road. But this
Yeah.
wouldn't be like that.
That
This
would be
would
like just crossing on the crosswalk.
Well, it's like they do over here in it's this
Orange
Orange Blossom.
Blossom.
Whoop, there went your glasses. Like Orange Blossom people cross. You can come over here and you can sit in the Publix Plaza and you'll just see all these people coming across with golf carts.
like in the crosswalk,
And
like you would
yeah,
a bicycle.
Like you would a bicycle. It's really not that big of a deal. I don't think anybody really cares that much, and they're not causing any issues.
Yeah, they cross at the light or whatever.
Yeah, and they do it safely, so I think it's okay. I don't know. Technically, you're not supposed to, but people do it. And they do it. They live there all the time and have golf carts and come across. You have a friend that does that.
Yeah.
And they drive to the villages on a golf cart. So I think I wouldn't be surprised if as time goes on, they don't make certain areas like golf cart because it's like the beach. Like when you go to the beach area.
Yeah, now it's all golf carts on the
beach.
beach on Daytona.
Everywhere. You can go golf karting.
Downtown Orlando
too, yeah.
and Ocala, both. Those areas down there are now, Winter Park is golf cart accessible. Naples, where that's my hometown. All the city of Naples is now, you can access it with a golf cart. So I think this is just becoming the trend.
Yeah, I think by the time, and I think
and it's such a good way to get around. Honestly, like my husband and I, Scott and I just don't use the car in the villages. Now we brought the car here today only because
I think it's gonna rain.
Yeah, we think it's gonna rain. So, but it is easy to park.
It is. It's just
and it is such a its own subculture in the villages is this whole golf cart thing. Like,
yeah, no, it's fun.
We spend a lot of time. I always take pictures of golf carts because I'm so amazed at people's creativity. You know, and I'm still from that generation that likes their cars.
I like,
you know, like accessories and things like that. So I think that's why it's more appealing to us. But I have a lot of pictures of different golf carts. I always have to stop and take them.
There's like a lot of interesting golf carts.
Like hot rods. I call them the hot rod golf carts. They look like hot rods from the 50s and 60s.
Yeah, my wife's nephew came down and because he'd never been to the villages before, and we were driving around or whatever, and he like freaked out seeing all these different golf carts that were decked out as, you know, like old sports cars and like all this stuff. He just thought it was like kind of weird.
Trucks.
Yeah, interesting. He's never seen anything like that. And he's from Palm Harbor, which I would think would be they do. That's the same kind of thing area where they do golf carts. They can
in the city limits.
In the city limits, like where he lives, you can take the golf cart to go wherever. They also have the greenway, and people take the golf cart on the greenway.
Oh,
so you go across, and then you go to the greenway, and you can go to all the stores. Everything's connected right there.
Oh,
it's kind of interesting how they do that down there. I think,
and you know, Florida is a great place to do this because 99% of the time the weather is good enough to do that. Like even with rain, like we go in the rain in the golf cart. We have the rain parka things that go on the sides, the rain guards, and
it's not too bad.
You can get a windshield wiper for it, and you know, it's never too cold usually, and it's it might be a little hot, but we got fans that we put in there.
I know they have all kinds of accessories for them now.
Stereos.
I know they've I've seen them with the boat speakers that they put on them.
Oh yes,
that's like the new thing.
Yeah, it's like the big speaker rack.
Yeah, they like really deck these things out.
We have friends of ours that has this thing like that.
I'd be very interested to know the amount of money that they spend on the golf carts because they deck them out.
Well, one of our friends, they have this golf cart like jacked up with like bigger tires.
I'd be scared to have that here.
It goes really fast, and they got the big sound bar.
I know.
And it's purple.
Oh gosh, they got some wild. They got dice hanging.
I don't think so.
No, okay. I mean, it would be all part of that, in my opinion. It's the same. That's the whole look. No, they do some really wild things.
It's fun. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I know. There used to be people. I used to work at Panera when I was in high school, and they used to come and talk about souping up their golf carts, and they would talk about how they got tickets and would get in trouble
Yeah.
because they were going so fast. I think now they're more strict on it, but back then
Yeah.
the village was big, but it was not growing at the pace that it's growing now.
No.
No,
that's
and that was like 5 years ago.
I mean, right now, I just checked the MLS this morning. There are 221 resale homes available in the villages, which is not very many. When I first started in this area several years ago, the numbers were 600, maybe even more at times. And those 221, they're not going to be there long. I was helping a fella from Pittsburgh a couple weeks ago, and we kept getting outbid. One house, we had 16 offers, 14 were cash. We were 10,000 over list price, and we didn't get it.
Yeah,
so people are coming, no doubt about it.
They're coming quickly. I just kind of has become so popular. I think it's kind of crazy because it's even people that are from Florida, like it's their dream to move to the villages. It's not just
Florida's
out of the
number two. Number one, people moving to the villages are New York, state of New York, which nobody's surprised about that, right?
Yeah.
That's how it started. And number two is the state of Florida, and number three is the state of New Jersey. That's the top three people in the villages and where they come from.
Yeah.
So I know plenty of people that they want to retire to the villages.
Yeah, no, I think I don't know. It is what it is. It's just going to grow.
It's just so unique. I think that's what people, it just really attracts people. Whether you're buying new construction from the developer themselves or you're buying resales from, real estate brokerages like what we do.
Yeah.
You have two options. You can either buy new construction from them or resales from us.
Yeah.
There's realtors, all types of brokerages here. And,
oh yeah, there's a lot of people.
Yeah.
I'm kind of interested though to see how time goes on because there's just nothing. A lot of people. I mean, I think what's the average move? People move what 4 or 5?
3 times.
3 times, at least 3 times when they're in the villages. And so I know a lot of people have bought down towards like Sawgrass and Finney, and there's like not a lot down there. So I think a lot of them are moving up here too.
There's some of that going on, yeah.
Yeah.
They want to have more accessibility, and this area is all established up here. This rec center that they built, this brand new in this established area, is very unusual for them.
I'm surprised, yeah.
Me too. Everybody's like, wow, I can't believe they built that new rec center in that established neighborhood. But I think what I see is that they know that this area up here is starting to change. The people that bought originally are in their 80s now.
I know they are.
They're moving out, and the younger people are buying in.
Yeah.
So that's it's a smart move.
It is.
My hats off
I think
to
so.
them. They've done a great. They're very smart.
They used to have the young section over on this side too. They used to have I don't know if you know that or not. They used to have a whole section over here that was for all the workers. So like the landscapers, the village entertainment people,
and that's kind of went away now.
They don't have that anymore. But it's what it used to be. So it has like its own like little section, and it's like you aren't in the villages, but you're in the villages. It's kind of weird because they don't consider it the villages, so you don't pay the amenities fee and you don't have access to anything, but you like live in the villages. So it's kind of interesting how they did that.
And I think the new section where they're doing down there called Middleton, they're going to have all their own rec centers and all of that. They are not going to be able to come and use these facilities unless they're
older.
Right.
Are they going to have age limits? Is that what they're going to do?
No, they're not going to have open access to everything.
Oh, okay.
They're going to have their own stuff down there. That's my understanding.
Okay. And that's for the multi-age, right?
Yes.
Okay. That's what I thought.
But this first responder though, I mean, they did a great job with honoring these heroes, and it kind of comes at the time that we here in Florida, Governor DeSantis started the Hometown Heroes program to help first responders, teachers, healthcare professionals to get into homes. The prices are moving so fast that they're not notorious for their pay, and those unfortunately, so they've been struggling to buy homes. So Governor DeSantis started this Hometown Heroes, and you can get this through your local lenders.
Yes.
They offer the program.
I think
Gabby's sister-in-law is getting ready to use that because she works in healthcare.
Yeah.
So that's fantastic.
And I mean, hopefully it will encourage people to work at schools, because right now it's pretty bad. There's a lot of ESE teachers and things like that just don't have the pairs, and they're just so short staffed. Everybody is so strained right now.
So I'm hoping it really encourages people to come and bring their skills and to at least serve us.
to be able to buy
Yeah.
something too, because
Yeah.
it's just, and
It's upwards of 25,000 in
Yep.
down payment assistance.
it's
so-
5% or 25, or I think Debbie said it was 5% of the purchase price of the home.
Okay, up to 25,000.
And so like up to that amount.
Okay,
so
perfect.
what ends up happening is it ends up allowing you to increase it by 20, like it could increase it by 25 possibly, like what you could buy. So like if you could only purchase 200 with what you have, it may allow you to increase it by some money.
So it gives you a little more options.
Yeah. So that's kind of how they do.
All right. Well, I'm so glad that we were able to visit this rec
Yeah.
center. I'm excited. I want to bring Scott back to
come see it.
see it. He's going to love it too.
I know they have some really cool stuff, and we're gonna have a video at the end to kind of give you like a little tour of
Yeah.
what they have. And so maybe you could come out and enjoy it with your family
And
too.
we'll be back next week,
Yep, we'll be back.
and it'll be a surprise. We're not going to tell you what's next week, but it's going to be interesting. We promise that.
We promise that, yeah.
Okay.
So, all right.
All right.
Hope you have
Thanks
a
a
good-
lot. You guys have a great day.
All right.